Welcome to 10 tips to improve your odds in PLAYERUNKNOWN'S Battlegrounds. Let's get right to it. Tip number 1 is going to be learn the map. This is key, especially since positioning is so important in this game. I'll go ahead and put a link in the description to this particular map, but as you can see, it has icons for where vehicles spawn and where military equipment is. So definitely take some time, look over the maps, find out where the good gear is. Tip number 2 is don't jump out of the plane too early. If you can, wait until you're at least halfway across the map or nearing the end of the flight path before you jump out. This will get you away from most of the other players because most players, at least from my experience, tend to jump out very, very early on in the game. So try to wait as long as you can. If you are able, use the camera quick key. May be different for you, just check your options. And this will allow you to look around inside of the aircraft to see how many players are actually still sitting in the airplane. Tip number 3 is the 90-degree free fall. Try to angle yourself at a 90-degree off of the plane flight path. So if the plane is going west to east, you want to fly straight north or straight south. That way you will get yourself as far away from the flight path where all the other players are dropping. Now of course there are going to be other players who do the same thing, but this will reduce the number of potential people you run into early game, allowing you to loot in peace. Tip number 4, situational awareness during free fall. So during your free fall, make sure to use the Alt key to pay attention to where other players are headed. Try to remember so you know where threats may be or where threats may be coming from. This will help you out significantly. You can see we have some players off to my left that are a ways away, but to my right we have someone headed towards the same buildings as me. So situational awareness is very important because I know I'm going to have very early confrontation with another player. Tip number 5 is the early car. So whenever possible, try to drop down on a known car spawn location, jump in the car right away without looting at all, and try to head towards a distant military equipment spawn location. What this is usually going to do is take you far enough away from other players that you can easily loot without being interrupted. And then all you've got to do is gear up, hop back in your car before the blue bubble circles in on you, and head back in towards the safe zone. Tip number 6 is roadkill. Remember guys, the car is a very solid weapon. Tip number 7, do not use cars late game. Late game, when the bubble is small, there are a lot of consolidated players, and driving a car is very, very dangerous. Everyone will know where you are, and you are going to attract way too much attention. So late game, don't use them. Early game, they're fine. Late game, drop the car, go on foot. Tip number 8 is doors. So key thing, if you see a door that is opened outwards, that means a player has opened it from the inside going out and is more than likely not in that building anymore. If you see a door opened inwards, that door or that player has opened the door from the outside in, and there is a very good chance that they are inside that building still. Definitely pay attention to if you see a door opened in but no doors open out, there's a very good chance that that player is still in there if they didn't go out the same door they went in, which does happen, but more often than not doesn't. So always be aware of the positioning of the doors. One other thing to think about with doors too is if the doors are closed but all the doors inside the building are open, that means somebody's being a little cheeky and trying to cover their tracks. Most people don't close the inside doors, but they do close the outside doors. Tip number 9, grenades. Do not forget to use those grenades. I forget to use the grenades all the time. Smoke grenades, fantastic when you're trying to rush somebody. Stun grenades or flashbangs are fantastic to blind them. It's kind of same as smoke. Smoke will cover your advance. Flashbangs will let you get those shots in without being shot back. And of course, the old faithful frag grenades. We love the frag grenades. But guys, don't forget to use the grenades. I forget all the time. Tip number 10, remember guys, have fun. This is just a game. More often than not, you are not going to be the chicken dinner winner. You are going to be shot. You're not going to be number one all the time. So if you find yourself getting frustrated, take a break or play a different game. Whatever you got to do to change that attitude, be happy, enjoy the game, have an upbeat attitude, and you will find that you actually do a lot better when you're having fun.